Let me Google what Neil Gaiman's up to these days. Oh my giddy aunt.
I think it's amazing that you didn't rewatch this or watch it with that knowledge. All of this stuff swirling around Neil Gaiman didn't ruin the second season of Sandman for me, but it was in there. It was an annoying little kind of thing in the back of my mind while I was thoroughly enjoying Sandman. It's not surprising really, because the character of the Sandman is a shithead.
Yeah, and so is Tristan in Stardust. He's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
I thought actually at the time probably everyone was like, oh sweet lovely Tristan, but actually like now watching it post Me Too, the way he treats Yvain for like quite a lot of the film, ridiculous, out of order, rude.
It's so funny, isn't it? 2007, a year of hope, looking forwards. Time to abuse a female character and treat her like property. But
as one does.
Yeah. Maybe this is a good time to intro the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 07 podcast, the show that looks exclusively at the films of 2007. My name is Lucy Alfred, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tay Mawson. How you doing, friend?
Hello, friendo. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah. Pleased to be doing this. Nice little bit of respite in my busy week.
This one's kind of fun. I feel like we've gone down and now we're coming back up again. Next week we'll do something horrific like
Zodiac.
Yeah. This is a film of lots of hope, good vibes. Gary frickin' Barlow.
Actually, when I said that we were doing this next, my boyfriend just went, oh yeah, Gary Barlow, me we can run on the star. He just started singing it straight off.
He does actually ride on a star in this film as well.
Hey!
Well, I'm just saying that Gary Barlow is not messing around, is he? He's like, no. I'm going to say exactly what happens in this film in the chorus.
But it is quite a good standalone pop song.
You know, it's catchy. I'm sure that Matthew Vaughn was very happy with it when he heard it. We should probably establish what we're talking about, really.
Yeah.
We're talking about the 2007 fantasy classic Stardust, featuring a young, fresh-faced Charlie Cox, a relatively young, fresh-faced Claire Danes, Mark Strong with hair, not his hair, obviously. The cast is mental. Michelle Pfeiffer, Jason Fleming, all of like UK comedy, basically.
Oh yeah, from that era as well. It was just like her who's who of like that era of British comedy.
Yep. Peter O'Toole.
Back again.
Who have I missed?
Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, Shakespeare himself, Robert De Niro.
Honestly, when he popped up, I was like, stop it. My boyfriend then laughed. Yeah, because I actually hadn't seen all of Stardust.
What?
Yeah, I know. I think I had it on in the background like last Christmas or maybe the Christmas before when I was rapping and like flitting about the house. So some scenes were like very memorable, but I didn't know Robert De Niro was a gay pirate in this film.
He's just flamboyant.
I think he's described as a whoopsie.
Yeah, they full on describe him as a whoopsie.
I know.
This is 2007. This is an aspect of this podcast that I didn't fully factor in, was just how like not modern it is.
Yeah, man.
It is funny though. Like Dexter Fletcher being the sort of manipulator and the amplifier of all the masculinity on that ship to bolster the ruse of Shakespeare's whoopsiness is pretty decent.
So great.
I enjoyed it.
So brilliant. Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Whoopsiness. Are we coining that phrase?
No.
Maybe we'll get cancelled.
I mean, I'm sure it's not a great term to bandy about now. You just can't say anything anymore, can you, Lisa? You can't say whoopsie.
I'm very surprised it was in the film in 2007. I thought we were fairly past that.
I think we were post whoopsie.
I really would hope so.
Let's leave it behind. Is there anyone else we missed out? Sienna Miller. She's in this.
Sienna Miller, of course. How could we forget? Oh, Henry Cavill.
A young Henry Cavill. That was going to be one of my quiz questions. Yeah.
A young, very skinny Henry Cavill. Almost unrecognisable. He hadn't got onto the protein shakes by that point.
Yeah, he plays Humphrey, the suitor of Victoria. You've got every UK comedy face and Ricky Gervais. Yeah, I think that about does it. What happens in the film Stardust? Not much, right?
I'll try and do a whistle-stop tour. It's a fantasy charting the story of Tristan, and he goes on a great adventure to catch a fallen star that he and Victoria see falling from the sky. Upon arriving in the magical land over the other side of the wall, he finds Claire Danes' character Yvain, who happens to be the fallen star, and they go on a great adventure on their quest to get back to Wall so that he can deliver the star to Victoria, his lady love. And in the process, they fall in love and he goes through a great transformation. Meanwhile, while all that's all going on, the King of Stormhold has died and the princes are all vying for the throne. So they're all trying to kill each other off, basically. And of course, it turns out that Tristan is in line to the throne because his mother is the princess who has been excommunicated for goodness knows how long.
It's hard not to enjoy this film, really.
This does satisfy my love of romance.
It is quite saccharine, really. But it's still enjoyable and it is funny. Like, I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
There's loads of like really little moments from all kinds of folks. Even Jason Fleming made me laugh out loud in this film. I'm not used to him doing like comedic bits, but very effective comedy in this film. And it's just so freaking inventive and zipping around with so much in the way of ideas. A BBC Movies colleague of mine at the time, she reviewed it. She called it a riot of invention. And that felt legit. There's just a lot going on and a lot of ideas which are really great, I think, and a lot that pays off.
Yeah.
And yeah, it feels quite traditional in many ways, but there's so much invention in it that if you're noticing the sort of, the sort of staples of it, it's forgiven because there's just so much to enjoy.
Yeah.
Ditchwater Sow is one of my favourite things about this film. As a name, that's freaking awesome. That was Aveline from Bread, wasn't it?
Was it?
Bread is an old TV show from the 80s, Lucy.
I've heard of it, never seen it. I used to confuse it with Porridge, which is another food-based TV show from the past.
Do they all just form one like amorphous
carby lump?
Yeah, all the shows with food in the title. That's amazing. Yeah, it's quite a twisty-turny plot, but it follows the kind of usual fantasy line of succession stuff pretty faithfully, I'd say. A few twists and turns, but if you've spotted it, you know where you're going ultimately. Yeah. A lot of fun.
It's lovely. I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad I didn't know anything about Neil Gaiman at the time. I feel like you maybe hinted at it ages ago, but I obviously just completely forgot about it. And it hasn't coloured my love of The Sandman or Stardust.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can think of any themes. Lucy, can you think of any themes?
Oh, well, I mean, as you said, Tay, it is quite saccharine.
Coming of age?
Coming of age, yeah. I mean, I think we're going to be scraping the barrel a bit here because it's not really trying to make any claims or sort of have any surreptitious messaging. But yeah, definitely coming of age, learning from one's mistakes. Obviously, like love and true love and romance, beautiful. Adventure, swashbuckling.
Yeah.
It's about it, really, isn't it? Oh, and people getting their comeuppance because all of the evil brothers that are all trying to kill each other off all meet their demise. Love that you get to see them as ghosts and they are permanently frozen in the state that they were when they died. Very funny.
I mentioned Jason Fleming. One of my favourite bits is just like a blink and you'll miss it moment is when he dies and one of his brothers looks down at his winky, and then he just looks up and off to camera. He's like,
I know.
It's so amazing, that little look.
So excellent, yeah. Rupert Everett's face, like all mashed up because he obviously got thrown out of the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
So themes then. Now we've done themes.
Yeah.
Because there aren't any, really.
No, there's nothing like super serious.
I guess there's like vanity and aging. The three witches, basically, Michelle Pfeiffer, Joe Scanlon, and Sarah Alexander, they all want Yvain's heart so that they can enjoy, I guess it's just longevity for them.
Yeah.
They're looking a bit rough, and they want to look sexy and new. So that's one of the reasons why they want to do that. So Vanity, but yeah, it's kind of themes light, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not, like I said, it's not really like trying to say anything. It's just a nice little romp.
Vaughan did say that, you know, it was in part a nod to The Princess Bride. Do you know the other film he cited as an influence?
No.
Midnight Run.
I don't know that film.
Midnight Run. One of your staple 80s comedy road trip film starring Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. Robert De Niro is like a bounty hunter, and Charles Grodin is an accountant for the mafia. He basically embezzles a load of like mob money and gives it to like good causes, and they want him dead. Meanwhile, the law want him, to testify. Or they want to try and get him to give evidence against all these mobsters. So everyone's after him. Basically, Robert De Niro needs to get him across the country, but he has a fear of flying. And so they have to, like, it's a bit like Planes, Trains and Automobiles, except no planes. He has to drive him across, like, I can't remember, from and to, but a long way, and there's hijinks along the way. It is super fun. A sort of lighter film for De Niro, even though he's a bit of a badass in it. It's definitely one of the few instances of like comedy that I can associate with De Niro. But it is a great movie, and a good one to emulate. So I think that the Grodin and De Niro dynamic is Charlie Cox and Claire Danes. And, De Niro is De Niro.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a great time in this film. To segue into things I like the most, I loved his character. I loved the whole time on the flying pirate ship. Loved his campness. Absolutely brilliant. He looked like he was having a great time playing that role. I really liked how they, hammed up the kind of gangster, hard man element that you expect of Robert De Niro in a film, and then completely flipped that, and he was so sweet, so like completely nice as pie, super literate and flamboyant and colourful and kind. Yeah, loved that. I thought he was brilliant. And that's of course where you get that beautiful montage where it really is Tristan coming of age. He has a haircut, gets new clothes, and kind of comes into his sort of Prince Charming era. So there, that was lovely. And I thought it was so imaginative. Obviously, it's Neil Gaiman's brain, but having the flying, lightning catching pirate ship, just excellent, beautiful. Really loved Claire Danes' English accent. Thought it was great.
Did you really?
I did actually. I think she's a really good actor. I wish we saw more of her. I feel like Homeland she hasn't been in anything that I can think of since Homeland. Yeah. I think it kind of wrecked her.
Her eyes are really doing all the work in that show, right? They're all over the place.
Yeah, and they make her look so knackered as well. Her hair gets really greasy and she loses loads of weight. Yes, they do a really good job of the hair and makeup.
I know, it's amazing. I think they roided up her eyes.
Roided up her eyes?
Yeah, they gave her eye steroids so that she could carry the performance, because there was a lot of eye work going on there. There was some good ocular acting happening.
Wow, he said ocular. Who said this podcast wasn't highbrow?
Do you know how I know the word ocular?
Oh, okay. Go on then, nerd. Tell me.
One of the earliest jobs I had was in the dispatch part of a hospital, and we'd take receipt of all this equipment. And one of the things that I particularly remember was taking receipt of a big box of ocular forceps. And I was like, "Whoa! I wonder what these are going to be for."
That is horrific.
I know.
Oh no, don't, because
it's just pop them out for a rest. She's like, "Come on, I've been doing this for 6 hours. I need to rest my eyes."
Gross.
Was there anything else you liked that you want to talk about, Lucy?
I just love the fantasy element. Like, just nice to escape into it, isn't it? Just kind of forget about the craziness of the real world and immerse yourself in something that's light and wonderful and magical. I liked how it pulled on, lots of different cultural material, like the Three Witches from Macbeth, just sort of general, swashbuckling pirates and princes and princesses, all of the themes that, are really familiar. And so it made it really nostalgic and comfortable and an easy watch. You don't really have to do any thinking. You know what you're getting. Like you said, you can kind of sort of expect where the story's going to go. But that's nice. There's something nice in that, isn't there? That you don't have to think too much. There's no real big surprises. And you're kind of fed the information way before anyone else is. Like, it's very obvious quite early on that Tristan is going to be the heir to the throne. So yeah, I think, I love that. And it is really beautiful. Like, the landscapes are great. My boyfriend actually said, like, I've been there. And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, no, genuinely, I've hiked along that ridge. That's the such and such in Wales. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that's quite nice, isn't it? Spotting real places. Yeah, but I think also because of how funny it is, it's just perfect entertainment. So like you said, it's like a who's who of British comedy from 2007. You've got Adam Buxton. You've got all the big names from that era, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun and silly. Liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the fantasy stuff, like, this is Neil Gaiman's thing. Is like, if you've ever read any of his stuff or read the comics, watch The Sandman. He's very good at just ram raiding all of mythology and then spinning that into new stuff. And there's a bit of that here, I think. In this instance, it's more fairy tales and Shakespearean stuff. Although I've never read it, there are apparently marked differences between the adaptation and the novel, which would please you because you hate novels.
I don't hate novels.
I know, it's not an original story.
I don't. Yes, exactly. It's not an original bloody story.
I don't think you can say of any of Neil Gaiman's stuff, although his stuff is quite original. It's all derived from something or other. But I guess that's just writing. But anyway,
and all great fantasies. They all borrow off each other.
Yeah. I do feel like this feels as romantic as it does because of Jane Goldman. It feels like she brought, some of the female characters forward a bit. And that last act was structured in a way I really enjoyed, in that, you feel like you've got the denouement and then there's the whole extra bit of jeopardy that they've thrown in. It was great. Bits that I liked all of the witches, but obviously the Michelle Pfeiffer bit where she's checking her ass out is funny. It's almost like, is she looking at the camera? Is she looking at the mirror? She is looking at the mirror, but she's saying to the audience, "Hey, folks, check out my arse." There is a shot that made me think of Basic Instinct. Once she's magicked up that inn for Claire Danes' character to have a bath in. Yeah,
which is terrible CGI, by the way. That bit, I felt like I was watching Shrek.
We can talk about CGI, yeah. But there's her big knife is under the bed, and I'm like, Basic Instinct.
Oh, okay.
The bit with Mark Williams, though, as the goat man, and what was his name? Herbert
Billy.
Or whatever. Billy. What was the other guy's name who turned into the lady with boobs?
That's funny, audience, because obviously most ladies have boobs, but it's because the character, because he had been a man, he's then obsessed with his own boobs.
Why are you explaining the obvious thing? Yeah, I enjoyed that bit. It was funny. And it does lead to the bit where Jason Fleming's like, oh, great, now everyone can see my cock, which is funny. Oh, yeah, the CG, Vaughan had a lot of help in the CG stakes with this film. This is his his first film as a director, and he kind of made his name off of Layer Cake, right?
Great film.
Yeah, but that's a real leap though, right? To do like such a big fantasy kind of epic looking film like this as a first foray as a director is pretty impressive. But he was like, it should be done in camera or not at all if we don't need to do it. And so this is a real journey for him, I think, into the magical world of CG. And yeah, that bit is a bit rough.
Terrible.
Well, it's green fire. What's wrong with that? It's totally normal.
Yeah, but it's also like the cartoony shape of the structure. Terrible. Yeah. Really, like I said, it felt like I was watching Shrek, that bit. So
he wanted to do that by building a set and then setting it on fire and then reversing that.
Wow.
And the CG supervisor was like, "Are you insane?" So what they did was they did a sort of miniature of that where they did set it on fire, and that was the start of the effect. And then they just they did like a plate shot through this structure, and then they just threw in a load of swirly fire around that shot. So, I think it was a bit of a voyage of discovery for Vaughan. All the stuff on the ship, that's all got massive CG backgrounds.
Yeah.
I love the fact that in his early career he was saying, I don't really want to do CG, and then you fast forward to like the Kingsman films and Argyle, and they're like, there's so much freaking effects in this film.
It's interesting, isn't it? I guess it's like what I was talking about last week with personal growth.
It's probably why he's so grumpy. Anyway, my favourite bits, all the Shakespeare stuff is great. Really kind of felt quite wholesome. You mentioned like Charlie Cox's character, Tristan, coming of age by getting a haircut.
His hair's great.
Which hair, though? It's before or after?
So his after hair. And also I think they must have filmed those bits first because that's his real hair, and I'm fairly certain the short hair is also his real hair.
I think he was wearing a wig.
For the short hair?
Yeah.
He looks great.
You're right, Lucy.
Yeah, he really glows up.
We can take a break. It's not just the hair with him. He does do that sort of growing confidence bit well.
Yeah.
The fencing stuff was a bit silly, I thought.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if I don't know, I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. But if we look at the cinematic theory, and it's also literary, but let's just talk about cinematic theory of the possession of the phallus and how it's represented in cinema, he is quite emasculated up to that point, and then he gets given the sword to train with by Shakespeare. And then that is how he becomes more powerful and strong. And that's when he glows up. And that's when he comes into his own and he stands in his masculinity with his big, huge sword.
Wow. I think the last thing I really I loved Mark Strong all the way through this film.
How could you not? He's brilliant.
Yeah. After he's dead is really, really great as well. Being all limp and dead, but like moving. So he had to control his body to a degree, but I think because there's a lot of like Michael Jackson-esque leaning, they kind of, he's hooked up to wires.
Got to have been, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Did you know that the bit towards the end where Charlie Cox is, getting massive vases flung at him, one of them knocked him out.
In real life?
Yeah. He had to have a plaster. He had to give him a lolly to make him feel better.
Wow, dear, oh dear.
To be a brave boy.
Poor little Tristan.
His dad was a bit of a cock, wasn't he? Dunstan, aptly named, just like pisses off, impregnates a woman, fucks off, doesn't look back.
Has his one night of giggity. I know.
Yeah.
Well, in his defence, it's quite hard to get into Stormhold. It's kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime thing that Dunstan and then Tristan does.
Yeah. I've run out of things that I liked about the film. I like that it ended with that absolute Gary Barlow banger.
Yeah, you and me, we can... Okay, I'll stop
Number 2 in the charts, apparently.
What, he didn't get to number 1?
Nope.
It's not Gary Barlow, it's Take That.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to call it Gary Barlow. Gary Barlow is Take That. Yeah, it peaked at number 2, being held off the top spot by Leona Lewis, Bleeding Love. Sorry, Gaz. Do you want to talk about Triv? Got some Triv?
So when I sat down and started watching it with my boyfriend, the narrator starts to speak and he went, "Oh, that's Gandalf."
Yeah. It is
And
Gandalf.
so, yeah, it is Gandalf. So Ian McKellen agreed to narrate after reading the script in one sitting. So that's high praise, really, because he must have really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As I loved Robert De Niro's character so much, Captain Shakespeare, interestingly, the role was actually quite a lot smaller in the book, but Vaughan decided to add the flamboyant twist that I loved so much. And De Niro loved it and played it very tongue-in-cheek. I think it must be fun. When you always play the gangster hard nut, to have a character that's completely the complete reverse of that must be awesome. Must be really, really fun.
Especially because the turn from what you'd probably class as a traditional Robert De Niro is the man kind of role. And then there's the reveal of the twist in that role for him. You see that play out, which is, cool, right? It's funny.
Yeah. So, obviously we've mentioned The Princess Bride, which interestingly, I always have confused Stardust with The Princess Bride. And I really like The Princess Bride film.
Yeah.
So in my head, I always think they're sort of the same thing. So I even said to my boyfriend, I was like, oh, is this the one with the guy with the mask? And he was like, no, that's The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
But I think it does have a lot of similarities, which is lovely. And then one final fun fact, to create the sparkly glowing effect of Yvain when she's really happy and very content when she's looking at Tristan and falling in love with him. She wore a special LED rig under her costume to kind of glow her up. But then I think they must have added a bit of extra CG because obviously it kind of beams out of her like this. So
I'd be a bit annoyed though if I was her, if I had such an obvious tell that I was happy. I want people to figure that shit out.
Well, yeah, you don't give much away anyway though, do you?
Do you know Ben Barnes?
I don't know Ben Barnes.
Ben Barnes was a young Dunstan Thorne.
Oh, I see.
He's got a bit of an online following even back then, and they wanted him to be Tristan instead of Charlie Cox because he's better looking. But Orlando Bloom was also in the running for that role.
Oh, thank God it wasn't him. He can't act for toffee.
Yeah. Matthew Vaughn apparently wanted an actor who could play a dork and easily transition into a suave and handsome gentleman. I don't know which bit of that Orlando Bloom would be complimented by.
The diversity?
Yeah, I guess. Ricky Gervais ad-libbed almost all of his stuff.
Of course he did.
Unsurprising, that's why it's not that good. It was an ad-lib-off between De Niro and Gervais, apparently, but very collegiate and fun. They were both having a good time. Jason Flemyng was Primus, and whenever he's travelling on his own, whereas Mark Strong is Septimus, and whenever he's travelling, there's 7 of them because of Septimus.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Babylon Candles?
Yeah, I love to talk about Babylon Candles.
The one hit wonder that is Babylon Candle.
One hit wonder that is a Babylon Candle.
Spaceman. Oh. Spaceman. Oh. Amazing.
Very good. Very good. What can I say about a Babylon Candle? I mean, it'd be super useful. When you're you've been out and you're tired and you've had a few drinks and you've got to get home and you just cannot be faffed. Babylon Candle, shoot you straight there. You just have to think of home. Zoom! You're there.
Well, it supports my claim that teleportation is the best and most, should be the most sought after superpower. Because, like you say, it's just so convenient, isn't it?
So convenient.
Anything else you want to add, Lucy?
So obviously we normally do our 2025 rating versus 2007 rating. But before we do that, let's see what the ratings were at the time. So the critical reception was that at the time of release, critics were pleasantly surprised. It was praised for its modern fairy tale for adults vibe. Obviously, we like a bit of Rotten Tomatoes on this show. So, yeah, the critics gave it 77% on Rotten Tomatoes, with the audience 86%. I think that kind of chimes. Are we calling ourselves critics here? I don't know. I feel like we're still... I think we're pretty much more audience. And
we're real people.
We're real people. We're not Anton Ego from Ratatouille. Metacritic gave it 66 out of 100. So yeah, I think I would give it more than 66 out of 100, I think. For sure. I think, I'm in the 86% band of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I didn't watch it at the time, but I reckon I probably would have given it I think I'd have probably given it 5 out of 5 because I would have been easily pleased with that. But I think I'm going to give it like a 3.5. Just because it's just fine, isn't it? It's like a nice, fine film, but it's not going to be. I'll probably come back to it and have it as a nice sort of like, as I call, chewing gum film, but it's not like Academy Award winning kind of. It's not edge of your seat stuff, is it?
Right.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like 4 is a bit. I'm torn between 3.5 and a 4.
Yeah.
4 feels like a bit excessive. So I'm going to go with a well-meaning 3.5.
Okay. We're agreed.
Yeah. And I can't wait for the sequel. Vaughan did talk about a sequel.
Not necessary.
Set in London in the 60s. So Austin Powers. Imagine a magic Austin Powers. That could work.
No.
No?
No.
But it would be era appropriate. You could get away with the whoopsie line in 60s Austin Powers-esque Stardust 2.
But I don't think Austin Powers would get made now.
No, probably not.
I don't think so.
I think wasn't that a show that Mike Myers did where it's basically him saying, you can't do the stuff that you did in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5 for me, 3.5 for you. That feels fair.
Yeah.
Like you say, I'm not sure it would get made. The sequel didn't happen because this didn't make money.
No.
It cost 70 to 88 million and the box office 137 million. So it didn't cover its costs in terms of marketing. But we've got it and we can watch it if we want. It's fine. Yeah,
it did actually become a cult favourite and apparently performed really strong on DVD and streaming after release. So it's probably one of those films that does well after the fact.
Yeah.
Because it's super quotable, isn't it? Much like The Princess Bride. And, people like to have something that they can kind of go back to and have references for. So I can see why I'm a bit culty.
Yeah, it's a good, it's a wholesome family watch, I think. Mm-hmm. And as long as none of the kids say, "Mummy, Daddy, what's the writer doing these days?" I think we're fine. They'll be in for a good time. Before we sign off on this, I want to do recommendations.
Ooh, yeah, recommendations.
Anything you want to recommend, Lucy? Anything you want to recommend that isn't from 2007, unless it is?
Sure. I have started rewatching Rivals, the Jilly Cooper adaptation on Disney Plus.
Is this a recent one?
Yeah, it came out last year. And the new series is coming out, I think, either the end of this year or very early 2026. Very excited about it. And the other day, I just was like, I really want something that I can just go back to that is comforting. I can't believe I'm saying that Rivals is comforting, but I just loved it. Obviously it is quite sexy, but that isn't what I remember about it. I remember the sort of bucolic, warmly lit, rural pastoral scenes of the Cotswolds and the wonderful costumes, excellent acting, great characters. I loved it. So yeah, that's what I'm rewatching that at the moment. Definitely worth a watch, but maybe don't watch it with your mum or your kids.
Yeah, rural pastoral scenes are definitely what get me aroused as a man from the West Country.
Well, apparently everyone's up to it. Yeah, in Jilly Cooper's novels, that is what gets everyone going. In fact, there's even in Rivals, they reference a specific day. I can't remember the date, but in it, it's like the day that everyone has sex.
Oh.
So presumably that's a real thing in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, cool.
No, that's my rec. What's yours?
Well, it's movies, unfortunately, because I haven't done much else of note. I watched a great film a new-ish film recently called Sovereign, which is got Nick Offerman in it, and a young actor whose name I forget, but he's really good in it. And they are father and son in some southern state. And Nick Offerman plays what is called a sovereign citizen. Sovereign citizens are a bit like libertarians.
Right.
They have a very specific interpretation of what laws are and how they apply to citizens. And they're big on much like libertarians, they're big on contracts and, you know, what the law means and its interpretation.
Right.
And so he is, you know, a bit of a loose cannon and a bit of a nut job. And his son is young, old enough to sort of see through his stuff and kind of take it with a pinch of salt, but not old enough to realize that he is like heading down a very dangerous trajectory. And you really feel for the son. And it's tragic. It ends tragically. It is based on a real event, but it is really good. I recommend that.
Is it in the cinema at the moment?
I think it's just come on to streaming. You can rent it. And it's a bit like, imagine if Ron Swanson really went off the rails. That's what would happen. So get that in your face.
Okay. Well, we did it, Tay. We did it.
Did we do it?
We did do it.
Amazing. Folks, thanks for bearing with us while we revisited Stardust. We checked and it's okay. It's safe.
Yeah.
So enjoy that if you can or want to. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do so by emailing us at 07podcast@gmail.com. We're waiting.
We're waiting. Yeah, please talk to us.
Thanks for listening, folks. See you on the next one. Say goodbye, Lucy.
Bye, Lucy.